Hey guys, it's Daniel here with a new video. Now, before I begin talking about this video, I must discuss that I have been uploading a new TV review, my review of Teen Titans. So please go check that video out because it is good quality, and plus it is got a new direction than some of the other videos where I just sit in front of the camera, so I hope you do go check that video out. But anyway, in this video I'm going to discuss the 6th episode of WandaVision. Right, only just a few more episodes left to go. Let's do this. So, the episode starts off with a intro from Billy and Tommy, Wanda and Vision's kids. And I will admit, the intro was pretty catchy. I thought that song was pretty cool. And it kind of reminds me of a few sitcoms, although I don't watch a lot of sitcoms. But between the two, Billy is the most developed because he's the most responsible one out of the both, as Tommy usually just goofs around with Quicksilver. And yes, Billy does goof around with Quicksilver a bit too, but he's more responsible than Tommy. And of course, we have the return of Evan Peters as Quicksilver. Now, this is one of the problems I have with this episode. Yes, it is good to see him back at it again as Quicksilver. I think he's still his usual charismatic self from the Fox X-Men movies. But I do have some issues with him here and there, though. I mean, yes, it is cool seeing Wanda and Pietro, like, talking about what happens after the death of Pietro, but how did he get accepted into the family? Because I thought this episode would, like, take place straight after the ending of the 5th episode, but they just, like, completely ignore that and say that, oh, he lives in the house now. What? And if you can't tell, this episode is the Halloween episode. I've been kind of wondering when the Halloween episode was going to happen. I thought it was going to be like the 5th episode, or the 3rd episode, or the 4th episode. Nope, it's the 6th episode. Wanda is dressed as her usual Scarlet Witch outfit, although come to think of it, she kind of refers it as a fortune teller. And Vision is still in his, like, tight outfit. And yes, I do agree with some of the characters that outfit looks a bit weird. It looks cartoony. And yes, Vision does look a bit embarrassed by it as well. But basically, he goes off into the streets, and then we cut out of the Hex. That's what the reality is called, the Hex. And Monica Rambeau is, like, ticked off at the director for sending a missile into the Hex, and so she is fired, along with Agent Wu and Darcy Lewis. So they just beat up a bunch of soldiers and disguise themselves as soldiers to try to get in and find out what exactly the director is up to. And then we learn that, surprise, the director actually has a spot on Vision. Wait a minute, why does he have a spot on Vision? So, they go off, they try to figure out more about what the director is up to, and why he has a spot on Vision. And basically, it just cuts into the Halloween. And surprisingly, more kids are in it, because at the end of the 5th episode, Vision says there aren't a lot of kids. But now, we have kids. Pretty interesting. Quicksilver is, like, talking, and he's, like, messing around with the kids, and one line definitely spoke a bit of mystery surrounding why he said that. He's like, hey, demons, spread hell, you demon swords. Now, that could just be a joke, or that could be demons disguised as kids in this reality. So, it could be that the Quicksilver we see now is just Mephisto in disguise. So, there's a bit of intrigue now and again, but at the same time, we don't know if Mephisto is doing this, or if Wanda is doing this, or if Agnes is doing this. And speaking of Agnes, we finally get the scene where she's in the car, and Vision knocks her out of the reality, and of course, you saw it in the trailer, where Vision's like, are you okay? Am I dead? No! Why would you think that? Because you are. I'm what? Dead. And then, you think that she's just another human controlled by Wanda, but then she starts laughing. So you're kind of wondering, is she a demonic witch of sorts working for Mephisto? Or is she just like a witch from the part... Like, remember when they accuse women of being witches and they just burn them alive back in the olden days? Well, this might be one of the surviving witches, but we don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And it does get me a bit of intrigue, but come to think of it, we only got 3 episodes left of the show left, so we're just going to need to, like, you're going to need to pick up the pace a bit more and introduce more stuff into the show and like give some real answers to some questions. And then basically outside the Hex, the director orders all the soldiers out. Monica and Agent Wu go off. Darcy stays at the lab to locate more about Vision. And Monica does mention that she has some information to give to her contactor. Now, we're not sure who her contactor is, but it could be anyone. It could be like a superhero, it could be a normal person, it could be anyone, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. We cut to the part where Vision actually tries to escape the reality. He like goes at the end of the town and like pushes through the force field to where he's like coming out and he's like struggling to get out, and you see him, he's like sort of disintegrating, he's dying because he's a dead corpse being controlled by Wanda. While I was watching the scene, I was actually kind of rooting for him to make it out. I was like, oh, come on, Vision, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. But at the same time, I felt a bit hesitant because he looks like he's dying and I didn't want him to die. But at the same time, I was hoping for him to break this reality, rooting for him. But unfortunately, it's too late because while Vision is suffering, Billy senses him. He stops the speedy Tommy and they go off to tell Wanda that Vision is in pain. And then suddenly, Quicksilver tries to have a positive view on it, but then she uses her magic to knock Quicksilver down, so she's acting a bit threatening, or maybe Quicksilver is just a demon in disguise. And going back to Quicksilver, I mentioned that I do have some problems with him. Like, not only did he get accepted in the family, but also I felt like Evan Peters' performance wasn't needed. And what do I mean by that? Well, because if he's just going to be acting like the same Quicksilver from Age of Ultron, or at least the same character he was in Age of Ultron, then why not bring Alan Taylor Johnson back? Don't get me wrong, it is great to see Evan Peters reprising Quicksilver, but at the same time, his performance was a little undergraded from the Fox X-Men franchise because he acts a bit phoned in. But I think that's mainly thanks to the direction of the episode. But he's just kind of phoning it in and he's not as fun as he usually is. I mean, he is kind of fun, but again, he's just not as fun as he usually is. But going back to Wanda, she senses Vision, and then surprisingly, she stops time and she expands the hex around the borders. Darcy Lewis gets handcuffed to a car, and then the hex is coming at her, and she gets sucked into the reality. And you're like, oh my god, she's in the reality. No, Darcy Lewis, she's gone. Damn it! You were doing a good job introducing her back to the MCU. And so the remaining characters, like the director and Monica Rambeau and Agent Wu, they make it out, and now more agents and more ground has been controlled by Wanda, and that's basically when the episode ends. All the characters are being controlled by Wanda. She turns the helicopters into hot air balloons, she turns some of the agents into clowns, and she turns the tents into circus tents. So that's the end. A few little things I should mention as well. First of all, stop motion! Stop motion? Okay, now you've really gone too far. We got a stop motion commercial in the middle. Oh my god, this is even more high than I thought it would be. I mean, the stop motion, it looks good, but again, stop motion, why? But again, this commercial plays a bit of relevancy because you see the boy, he's trying to open up a carton of yogurt, but he's struggling to open it up and then he dies. And that kind of has a bit of relevancy to how Vision is trying to make it out of the reality, but he keeps getting sucked back in. And again, he is sucked back in thanks to the expansion of Wanda. And, yeah, what do I think of this episode? I'm not gonna lie, guys, I think it's probably the second weakest part of WandaVision. I mean, it's not bad, I really like it. Probably the third weakest, but it just doesn't live up to the third, the fourth, or the fifth episode. Things just seem a little toned down, some things don't make any sense, and we're still kind of guessing as to what's really going on. And the problem is that we don't have a lot of time left. There's only 3 episodes left to come out before the end of the show. So we're kind of hoping, okay, come on, let's find out the answers already. Now, the next 3 episodes, I'm hoping they're going to be some relevancy in the climax of the show, where they're going to answer the questions. Who is really behind this? Is it Scarlet Witch? Is it Mephisto? Or is it Quicksilver? Or maybe Mephisto is disguised as Quicksilver? Or is it Agnes? So, there's still some hope out there as to what's going on. again, it's not a bad episode. It's just that when I watch all these episodes back to back, especially with the excellent 4th, 3rd, and 5th episodes, it's kind of a disappointing episode. That's not exactly bad, it's good, but it just doesn't live up to the past few episodes that we had before. So, those were my thoughts on the 6th episode of WandaVision. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you think about it. And what are your theories? Is Mephisto behind this? Is it Scarlet Witch? I'm leaning more towards the Scarlet Witch theory. And let's see what's going on. I cannot wait to see what's going on. We have 3 more episodes left of the show. It's almost the end game of the show. And, again, go and check out my Teen Titans review. It's really cool. I did put a lot of effort and a lot of hard work. It took me forever to put that on, so I think it deserves a little bit of credit. So definitely go check that review out. And again, I'm Daniel reviewing movies, TV shows, doing videos. Subscribe, share, like, comment, bell notifications.